Hi, I'm David Blanton. What we're going to talk about now is when is the best time to hunt a deer, mornings or afternoons? One of the questions I get asked that makes me laugh a lot and we have a lot of fun with is how people come up and says, okay, David, over your years, 30 plus years at Realtree, filming and hunting, when's the best time to hunt deer, mornings or afternoons? And I just laugh because it depends on what part of the country you're hunting in and what time of year, but people certainly have their favorites, and I respect that. And I think for me, in my career, my answer has also changed back and forth during different seasons of my career. There was a time when I would tell you that there was no difference between mornings and afternoons. But now, if I really think about it, and to be really transparent, I would say that it depends on the time of year. Now, I could give you the answer that, as I get older in my career and my goals as a hunter now is more about enjoying the hunt, the camaraderie, the fellowship, the experience, the atmosphere around camp. My answer is I love to wake up in the mornings, have me a cup of coffee, eat me a bowl of cereal, and visit and just enjoy the mornings, and then hunt that afternoon. Of course, I'm being facetious, but there is some times of the year when that is actually a very good strategy. For example, for 28 years, we hunted whitetails with 7J Outfitters in Sundance, Wyoming, the northeast corner of the state. Tons of whitetails. And I was always amazed at how productive the morning hunts could be out there, even though it was early season, first week of September. These bucks are just feeding in the alfalfa fields in the mornings, coming way back up into the timber. They may travel 2 or 3 miles to get back up in the timber to bed in the afternoons. And on the surface, you're like, how can you hunt those deer in the mornings? Well, the guides out there did such an amazing job is you come in through the back door and you may walk a mile following the reflectors in the mornings in the dark, and your tree stand may be a mile from the alfalfa field, but they have travel corridors that they have identified through long-range scouting, which makes morning hunts very, very productive. And it makes perfectly good sense. If you're trying to go in and hunt deer right in close vicinity to a food source, morning hunts do not make sense. So we fast forward to when you hunt Kansas. When you're hunting over corn in Kansas, in the mornings, very difficult to hunt unless you get during the rut when you're hunting bucks that are chasing does and cruising and scraping and coming to the horns or the grunt call. Mornings are very difficult to hunt if you're hunting close to a food source, because you go in there in the mornings, you stand the chance of blowing deer out. I love afternoon hunts that time of year. I love morning hunts during November when the rut is peaking. The rut is wide open. Bucks are running. You're going to be out there. It's incredible. If you get colder than normal temperatures, the activity is going to be off the chart. Mornings are phenomenal. There's nothing better than a morning sitting in a tree stand as it starts to break day. It's 18 degrees with a 5 to 10 mile an hour consistent wind from one direction, which is great for a hunter. It's those light and variable winds which make it very, very difficult to hunt, because that means the wind's going to swirl. But if you can get a consistent wind during the rut on a cold morning, morning hunts are unsurpassed. I love being out there in the mornings. You go to somewhere like Texas, mornings are fantastic. I love watching the world wake up, all the animals. So mornings, which is better, mornings or afternoon? Years ago, what's going to probably not blow your mind, I did a poll with just my hunts over the years, And it came out that like almost half and half of the deer I've taken over the years have been mornings, and the other half are afternoons. So really, it's just different times of year taking what is best and what fits where you're hunting and how close to the food source you're hunting. So typically I would say it's going to depend on where you hunt. Let's just take the Southeast, for example. Here in Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, North Carolina, South Carolina. I think afternoons are a better time to hunt deer. Because the reason I say that is the world we live in here in the Southeast is a lot of thick pine plantations, a privet hedge, just a lot of thick area that our deer live in where we hunt. We don't have the luxury of seeing a lot visibly. I'm nervous walking into a stand when it's thick and you don't know what's going on and you can't see. You don't know if deer are 50 yards from you walking in or 500 yards. You don't know. So I opt to go more towards the afternoon hunts in a scenario like that. So, I know everybody has their preference. For me, I can't give you a hard answer. I love mornings and I love afternoons.